yeah, spacing, how do I not whiff? It's thinking about these things. Who am I playing against? Does my character do well with keep out? And if so, what attacks lend themselves to keep out? Not a single fucking character in the game wanna be standing in kissing distance of King. Not in Tekken 8. You wanna be like here. At the very least, you wanna be here. Are you able to help us with spacing so you don't do unnecessary whiffs? You have certain attacks on your character that lend themselves to being keep out attacks. And it depends a little bit on how your character likes to play, right? For example, Hwoarang is a pretty all-round character in that even from this distance, he can sort of threaten you a little bit. If you're lazy with whiffs, again, you asked me about spacing. If you're playing against Hwoarang and you whiff an attack, a great Hwoarang player can on reaction do this. Kablam. This is actually one of the best whiff punishers in the game. And then you can add to this that he actually has pretty good keep out himself. With keep out, we mean attacks that are very threatening to run into. So moves an opponent can spam like this, where he actually recovers quickly here. But if he tags you with this running in, and again, you extend your hitbox as soon as you press a button, so this will have more range than you think it does. It whiffs here, but this, make no mistake, this is a counter hit utility attack. Doesn't matter that this move doesn't have a lot of reach. Soon as you press into this, like say with a standing 3 or a down forward 1, this will counter hit and launch you from pretty far away. But when Hwoarang wants to play aggressive, again, he has a pretty hard time making his way in. He might use this move, right foot forward, down forward 3, but again, lacks reach a little bit. A lot of Hwoarangs tried this. This is his one of his heat engagers. It's got a lot of reach. It's safe on block. I think it's called Peacekeeper, but it's very linear. And while running free is very linear. Hwoarang most of the time wants to be really close to you and pressure with heavily advantageous frames, right? He wants to be right up close to you. His ideal spacing is just working himself in and being close to you and pressuring. That's his ideal spacing. Not all characters are the same. Kazuya wants to be somewhere over here. This is where I feel the best. I'll throw electrics as keep out. And again, you asked me, how do I handle whiffing and spacing? Well, what is your ideal position of your character? That's what you have to figure out. That's the 101. And you can look at a guide on your character. You can check the Discord. Your character might have a Discord. You can go to the, what's the general? Tekken Zaibatsu still has a Discord. You can ask them. What's the ideal spacing conditions for my character? For those of you who play Kazuya, there are quite a few of you, Kazuya wants to be around here, in my opinion. Here he throws keep out electrics. One of the best keep out attacks in the game. Very hard to whiff punish. If you run in, it's got a huge hitbox that will tag you. And then also, I will, again, this is me staying as safe as fucking possible, throwing these electrics. And then I will challenge my opponent to make sure they don't feel safe in their positioning. Because a good player who's standing where Hwoarang is right now, he'll be very careful to needlessly run in. He does not want to get tagged by an electric. So what a lot of people do here is that they might run in like this with a very evasive low attack to beat the electric, but I'll be on the lookout for this, of course. You can usually step these. And then, just to make sure he does not feel safe, I'll very carefully look at how he moves. And then when I think he's gonna commit to a backdash or he's just sidestep, I'll throw Devil Fists, like this. Typically, this will connect. Even on block, this is not bad. It deals a nice amount of chip. I'm -9, but knocks them back like this. And typically, I'll get this to connect. Due to how weak backdashing is in this game, like, and again, how much this tracks, it's very good. And especially if you have strong timing, and you think like, okay, I'm gonna catch him off guard, kablam. This is how I achieve safe spacing with my character, Kazuya. None of these options, if I place them properly, puts me in harm's way. A lesser Kazuya player might whiff stuff like this here. Or he'll even do something like this. Trust me, there are these Kazuya players. Do something like that. Very bad. Or they'll use down for 2 as keep out like this. Very bad. Very bad. So again, it's know your character. Play to your character's strengths. When I'm standing close, I'm wary of pressing buttons due to pretty much every character in the game is stronger than my character Kazuya. And this is what we call range 0. Point blank range to your opponent. Most characters are stronger than mine. Most characters that I play against in ranked, I don't want to end up in this position against them. Feng Wei, I don't want to be here. King, are you fucking kidding me? Not a single fucking character in the game wanna be standing in kissing distance of King. Not in Tekken 8. You wanna be like here. At the very least, you wanna be here. You know this game plan I just told you about like this? Against Reina, I don't do anything. Because she controls space and time. Make no mistake. Against Reina, what you do is wait her out, let her initiate. The Reina player is in command here. You just have to accept that. I will wait for him and I will allow him to initiate on me. You just bend over. You turn around and bend over. So you actually wait for the Reina player to initiate and he'll do the Raiden. He'll do the Raiden. He's like that. They can't breathe if they haven't done a Raiden in 5 seconds. So let that character initiate. And then after the Raiden is when the gameplay commences against Reina. Okay, I think he's gonna do Raiden into 4. So I'm gonna sidewalk and punish. That's when the game commences there. It's how complicated this game is and how matchup specific it is. Yeah, spacing, how do I not whiff? It's thinking about these things. Who am I playing against? Does my character do well with keep out? And if so, what attacks lend themselves to keep out? Paul is a different character from this range compared to what he is at this range. So at this range, Paul threatens you with a strong throw game, and he threatens you with a powerful 50-50. If Paul is standing at this range, you have much less to worry about as the defender, right? What do I do with Paul when I'm at this range? Well, these moves. Extremely hard to whiff punish attacks. You don't throw something like this. Because in Tekken, you always want to make sure your attack is at least blocked. Unless you're doing something like a jab, which is very low commitment. Or a down for 2. Or you know, your designated keep out buttons. You see my demo man here. If it hits, clean hit, I get all of the damage. I float my opponent. But from this range, a Paul player will know. Instinctively know not to throw this. Because it will get blocked and I die. And that's just understanding the spacing requirements of my character. Paul player knows he has to be in this range to throw his big old shit, right? You don't want to be standing here. If I notice that my opponent is just turtling up a lot, like being really defensive, because he knows I'm not trying to challenge him too much, then you can just go monkey mode. You can run in and just fucking demo man. Run in, demo man. You never want your opponent to feel at ease and know, oh, that's where your mentality is. You'll just always block. Always shake things up. The key to this game is always being unpredictable, right? But it's always calculated risk. It's always calculated risk. Yeah, I hope that tells you a little bit about spacing, I guess.